All right. So we're starting every exploration talk with our 2018 affirmation. You'll find that at the bottom on the inside left of our program. So let's read that together. Today is a brand new day. I refuse to limit my life by any past experience. I was born to be happy, to be abundantly supplied with every good thing, to have fun in living, to grow, and to consciously align the divine power within me with the divine power around me. I boldly claim my birthright. Today is the best day ever. That just makes me happy. I can feel it in every little fiber of my being. Today's exploration is walking our talk. And the foundation of Science of Mind is our declaration of principles. We had an amazing ceremony, ritual, celebration yesterday where we joined me with this community and this community with me in the installation ceremony. And I was sharing with Joanna and Linda earlier, I was like on this really incredible, energetic high, and then all of a sudden, just like sitting there, and all of a sudden I went from whoo to boom, where my human energy finally exhausted itself, and it was like this little kid that plays and plays and plays and then just crashes. And I just find that incredible that we're built with this amazing system that can feel that level of joy and that level of vibration, and that is available to us every minute of every day if we choose it. And that it really is as close as a choice. No matter what's going on this planet, we have the capacity, the permission, the ability to choose that level of joy every breath. Now, I'm a little less certain that I have the physical capacity in this earth suit to sustain it, but I know it's mine to choose. And so I think there's this thing of a balance that we have to strike. Our declaration of principles, if none of you have seen this teeny tiny little book, What Religious Science Teaches, it is a very rich, condensed book. He goes through here and with our declaration of principles, and there's no way for me to pull out all of them, but he goes through and he references where they have their origins. Fragments of Faith Forgotten, which is a philosophy. The Ramachakra, the Quran, the Talmud, the scriptures of India, the Hermetic philosophy, Hindu scriptures. It's when Ernest says that no one religion gets a market on the truth, he's not kidding. And our tradition, what we practice, is based on a synthesis of all of this stuff. Ernest Holmes was the great synthesizer. He just took in everything he could possibly get his hands on and get his mind around. And he synthesized it. He looked for the common threads, the truth that connected everything. And one day, our declaration of principles actually started out with someone asking Ernest, what do you believe? And so it started out as a statement, very personal to Ernest Holmes, about what I believe. And then it got adopted when we became an organization to what we believe as an organization. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-evident cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. We believe in the incarnation of the Spirit in everyone, and that all people are incarnations of the one Spirit. We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul forever and ever expanding. We believe that the kingdom of heaven is within us, and that we experience, and listen closely to this one, because this is where he starts folding responsibility in. We believe that the kingdom of heaven is within us, and that we experience this kingdom to the degree that we become conscious of it. We have a part. We believe the ultimate goal to life to be the complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. We believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through the intuitive and spiritual nature of every kind, and that any person who may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. We believe in the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God. We're surrounded by this creative mind which receives the direct impress of our thoughts and acts upon it. We believe in the healing of the sick through the power of the mind. We believe in the control of conditions through the power of this mind. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. We believe in our soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny. We understand that life of man is God. There is a lot in there. We could take a whole year just exploring these one at a time. This morning, what I really want us to explore are the ones that really call us up to take an active responsibility. The ones that say we get to have all this as we become aware of it. That we get to be free from all discord as we choose it. Because it's real easy to kick back in our spiritual recliner and do the I'm waiting on God thing. I have 35 years in recovery. I had about 6 months clean and sober, and I was whining to my sponsor. There's no other way to frame it. I was just whining. I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and she's like, "Why don't you have a job yet?" I'm like, "I'm waiting on God." "How come you're not paying your bills?" "I'm waiting on God." And after about a month of me waiting on God, she said the most profound thing. "The next time you're hungry, I want you to lock yourself in the closet and see how long it takes God to shove a hot dog through the keyhole." I got it. But how often do we do that? We have a wish on the human level, and we wish something was different, and we're waiting on God to make that happen. God is never going to be a vending machine. That's not how it works. We don't pop in a prayer and pull out a wish. That's not how it happens. These declarations of principle keep going back to the oneness, that we are the thing itself in form. It references the law, and the way the law works is what we speak into the law comes out exactly the way we speak it in. And so if I wish something is different, what I get back is a wish. And then we're just stuck in wishing, which just came into my mind. That makes our spirituality rather wishy-washy. So sometimes it's a little scary up here. How do we do it different? How do we walk our talk? If we really believe this, how do we put it into action? First of all, we have to get clear. I saw something on a listserv that I'm part of the other day where someone initiated a conversation, and several other people chimed in after the fact that I was hoping to see this on the listserv. And what came to me is, then why didn't you initiate it? But how often do we do that? We want peace on our planet. Are we being peaceful? Or are we, because sometimes, folks, if you close your eyes and don't look at the people talking, you can't tell who's on which side anymore. Because the same level of nastiness is coming from all directions. So do we really want peace? Because if we really want peace, we will be peace. See, I don't get to want peace and act like a jerk. I mean, I get to, but what it's going to accomplish is more jerkness in the world. Because what I am walking is really my belief. It's easy to talk about things. It's easy to say I want something. It's easy to say I believe something. It's a whole different matter to do it. And if we really embrace it, if we really believe it, we do it. Most of us believe we have a home. We believe we know where it is. We believe we live in it. And so we act accordingly. When we go away from it, we return to it. We do what is necessary to keep it because we value it. Okay? Those of us that came here in a vehicle today, we can leave it in the driveway and hope it gets gas. But I'll bet most of us go to the gas station. We don't just keep driving. I sure hope my car gets enough gas. We do the things that we know are necessary. And maybe the problem is we lack a clear understanding of what is necessary to be peaceful. I know I certainly did, because I was raised in an environment where it wasn't peaceful. The skills I was taught, the mentality I was taught, didn't resonate with truth. I will never forget, as a kid, I don't think you love me. And what I got back from my parent was, yes, I love you! Okay. It didn't match. The words were there, but the feeling was anything but love. Anything but love. Deborah dialed a wrong number one time, calling a person. The person she was calling happened to be named Joy. And so when the person on the other end answered the phone, Deborah said, appropriately so, "Hi, is Joy there?" On the other end of the phone came, "There's no joy here!" To which Deborah said, "Clearly," and hung up. But isn't that kind of the way we navigate this human thing until we realize that all of that has a role in the whole? See, I can't sit at home and meditate and be all peaceful in my meditation chair, and then the minute I stand up, start lashing out at people on Facebook, telling them how wrong they are, telling them how I have all the answers, without owning that. What would it be like if we actually met people at a heart-to-heart level, and instead of criticizing what they think and believe, have a conversation with them? Be open to understanding them. Be open to hearing them. You don't have to agree with them to hear them. We don't have to agree with one another to respect one another. Do we want to be right, or do we want to be happy? Mm-hmm. Because those things can be miles apart. And who's right? When it comes to human beliefs and what works for each individual, who's right? I don't know. I know what's right for me. Some days. Some days, not so much. And how do I know I'm incorrect in what I thought was right for me? The evidence of it shows up in my life. Because what I believe, I am creating in the law with every breath, whether I want to or not. That's the power of creation, folks. See, your beliefs that are operating, whether you articulate them or not, they're creative, because that's the operation of the mind. And so don't be fooled into, well, I didn't actually speak it, so it's not into the law. Mm-mm. That's not how it works. Okay? Because what you tell yourself, you are telling the divine, because we are that informed. There's no separation. There's no God outside of us that we petition to and talk to. So, when we're talking with ourselves, and we all do, and for those of you who think you don't, and you just said, I don't talk to myself, you kind of do. We're talking with the divine, that inner conversation. The outermost God and the innermost God are one God. It's not a separate conversation. It's an I-thou relationship with ourselves, because we are that informed. And it's a little scary sometimes to stand in the truth of that, because all of our human stuff, who do I think I am? I think I'm God informed. That's who I think I am. Did I always think that? No. Because I was raised with a God outside of me. Every time I look at a piece of money, in God we trust. What would it say? How would our planet be different if it said, in the God within me I trust? What if we just started bringing God inside all the time and recondition our thinking, recondition our thoughts to where we are operating from clear, aligned consciousness with every breath? Oh my God, we will change this planet. We will change it like that. And I am just crazy enough to believe we can do that. I feel, just saying it, I get goosebumps from head to toe. That tells me it's true. I don't get goosebumps when it's not true. When you look into the eyes of another being, you are literally looking from the eyes of God into the eyes of God. And looking back at you is through the eyes of God, into the eyes of God. Let that sink in for just a minute. That this is not who we are. This is the container we're traveling in. It's not who we are. Who we are is so big and so magnificent that it is literally inconceivable in our little human minds. We are so much greater. And all of that is a breath away, is a choice away. The first thing that I ever had to do to walk my talk was to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because I can't grow in my comfort zone. I can't grow if I'm unwilling to question those beliefs that jump up to shut me down. When you hear those messages in the back of your head that say, who do you think you are? Tell it the truth. Have a conversation with those voices. Hafiz, the guest house, invite them in. Invite them in with joy. No matter what they're there to do, no matter how painful they are, invite them in. Embrace them. Have coffee with them. Sometimes I literally sit at my kitchen table and I put 2 cups of coffee down, even though I'm the only one there. Because sometimes I need to make it that real to have a conversation. And I'll say out loud, what do you want me to know? What are you here to tell me? And then I listen. And then I respond out loud. I hear you. And I know right where you got that. And there ain't a word of truth in it. Here's what's really true. And I have those conversations with myself. Now, I'm smart enough to do it when nobody's around so I don't get 5150. Because I know I live on planet Earth and some people would find that odd. I found it odd when it was suggested to me. And it works. So find what works for you. How can you have that conversation? Journaling works for some folks. Silence works for other folks. Find what works for you to learn how to dance with those beliefs that no longer serve you. How to partner with them. Because trying to get rid of them doesn't work. It's like throwing fertilizer on it. Because see, here's the challenge. If I'm focused on them, I'm feeding them, and I cannot get rid of them without focusing on them. Okay? I can't hold this piece of paper without knowing I'm holding a piece of paper. I can't take it to a trash can without possessing it. And even after I leave it in the trash can, I know where it is. It's not about getting rid of it. It's about transforming it. It is about being willing to be comfortable being the caterpillar. We love the butterfly. The only way we get to be the butterfly is to become the caterpillar. And if you will just embrace your caterpillar with all of its messiness, with all of its confusion, with all of its little legs and bumps, be with it. Begin to wrap it in love. Create a cocoon that is love. Wrap your caterpillarness in love. Let it dissolve. Let it feed your butterfly. That's how transformation happens. We have to stop trying to get rid of ourselves and embrace ourselves. That's the first part in walking our talk. Pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. Pay attention to what you're saying to other people. And examine it. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to stand here and tell you it's all bliss and glory. Eventually we get there. But we have to walk through, if you've ever seen the movie, The Never-Ending Story, we all have to navigate the cliff through the bog of eternal stench to get there. You can find God in anything, I'm telling you. If you just look, you can find God everywhere. So just know, you're navigating through it. You're not setting up housekeeping. Don't build a condo. Just keep moving through. But do so consciously, so that you are consciously choosing where you step as you walk. Let's take this into prayer. Knowing that there is only one infinite presence. And by infinite, I mean it has no limit. It is bigger than anything we can conceive of in our finite mind. That it is bigger, and bigger. That as we expand, it expands. And so the notion that it could ever be contained is simply that, a notion. Ain't a word of truth in it. And this one infinite presence has always been. It is out of that all of this was created. And so we exist out of it, in it, around it. And it is the very nature of our being. We are that thing itself in form. So all that it is must be our life. The brilliance, the magnificence, the infiniteness, the eternality, the oneness of creation itself is my life. It is my being. It is the truth of who I am, and what is true of me is true of all life. There's absolutely nothing I can experience, no person, place, thing, plant, nothing that I can encounter that is anything other than God itself, other than divinity. And so in this moment, I speak my word, which is the word of that itself speaking as me, claiming and affirming this truth for all life. That as we become clear about who and what we are set free from every lie that would diminish that in our experience of it. Holy wow. What a magnificent love pouring itself in, over, and through us equally. Never ending, without limit, without qualification. May I give that same unrestricted flow of love to all I encounter. It is with deep gratitude that I release my word into that law, knowing that it is already true, and having been spoken into the law is made manifest. And I invite you to join me as we say together, and so it is. God is good. When? All